the question was, hey, I think you're cute, or the statement. And I told her cute or cute, cute. And she's like, I think you're cute, cute. I'll have to probably put that on a t-shirt. Cute, cute, question mark.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're wearing to the club now. I had watched the first season of this show, and it's an intense concept, I would say. But I love obviously seeing, what can come out of it. But for both of you, I mean, what was your first reaction to seeing a show like this concept, and how did you think about that on-screen representation?
It was honestly bizarre to watch initially. I can't even lie. When I seen any of the ultimatums, I was like, oh my gosh, who would actually do this? And then here we are doing it and did it. So I think it's strange, but I definitely see the value in it for sure. And then I think it's also very important for especially the queer love version, just because there isn't any mainstream representation much at all for queer people and different identities in the queer spectrum. So I thought it was a beautiful thing and honored to be a part of that.
And I would say about the same thing. I remember actually watching the first season with Ashley, and we were sitting on the couch and we looked at each other and we were like, we would never do this to each other. And honestly, I'm so glad we did, because of the way that things turned out and like the beauty that came from the show on my end. And then also just seeing everybody and where they're at now, I think is just a beautiful concept.
I mean, I want to hear about just a little more about that, with like being like, oh, we're watching this, I would never do that. And then it's switching to, going on doing that. So like, what was going through your mind when you like got this ultimatum and you were like, oh, we're actually doing this?
I think honestly, after watching the first season of the ultimatum and just seeing all the growth that some of the people that went through, I think that I was looking at myself and my relationship internally. And honestly, Ashley and I were at a crossroads where it was like, either we just leave each other and we leave that at itself, like leave it alone, or we can find a way to grow together and like actually make this relationship work. But when we got there, that's not the case. That's not what happened on her end. So very clear picture for me of, okay, like I'm receiving this ultimatum, but I'm not going to say yes to her because she is not going to meet me at the level that I'm at. So I think that's what I was thinking.
And for Britney, I mean, yeah, you issued the ultimatum. So what led up to that decision?
Yeah, I did issue it. So on the flip side of that, I think what led up to it is because, yeah, me and AJ watched it, and when it came out initially, and we're like, oh my God, this is insane. Who would do this? And then honestly, like months flew by, almost a year pretty much, or I can't remember how much time, but just in general, I think our relationship started to resonate with those who were on the show, and one wanting marriage, one not. And I remember making a joke like, I'm going to give you an ultimatum. And then ironically, the casting, and then it honestly just aligned with where we were at. And AJ is the type of person that works well under pressure. So I figured, if we're going to do it, let's go all in. Marriage is a huge and a very big deal in your life, and literally and legally. So I figured if we're going to get married and do this big thing, let's go through this experiment. And if we make it out, that means we are meant to be together for real. So
that's definitely true. Like, I feel at some point, some people can think it's just like, oh, why not? Let's just do this thing. Like, what could go wrong? But, like there is a lot of thought and care that really should go into these kind of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And not that going through the show makes you experts, but I did want to ask you both just on any way that like your idea of love has kind of evolved by going through this show.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I think, and I gotta hand it off to Britney too, because she was the one who really showed me what a true, compassionate, kind, caring love looks like. And for so long, I was looking at love like it was almost ecstasy, and I could only have it at certain points in my life where it was like being used against me or manipulating me in order to do something for that other person. But with Britney, it was like she was just always there for me. And it's not like I had to ask her to like give me that love and compassion that I know I deserved. She was just always there. and showing me like a healthy, happy, great energy type of love. And I think that's what really changed my perspective about love is like, if Britney is up here in terms of energy and love and light, and I am also up here, then why should I have to stoop down to this type of level that no longer resonates with me? And I think that's the important thing.
Yeah. And it was honestly beautiful to witness that clicking for you, because I remember like in our own trial marriage, and you seem to be lacking those very things, and you almost were in a way convincing yourself that you weren't worthy of a love like that, or it never existed. So I'm genuinely just so honored to like have been in a trial marriage with you and being able to be that. So oh, that was so sweet though. And that's how I feel about Marita. Like Marita did pour into my life just exactly the same way. Super in tune, super involved. We were in sync with each other. She's making breakfast, I'm making coffee, vice versa. You know, it flowed very well. And I loved having, you know, a trauma partner that really was attentive to me too.
Yeah, there's so much beautiful bonding. Like I love that, you know,
I'm trying to be calm. I want to be like, but yeah,
part of the show is that they're like, oh, we're bringing these couples in, it's gonna get messy, but then you get to see this beautiful just like bonding of people that kind of know what the other's going through and can like relate, you know.
Yeah.
On that spectrum as well. So
I would also say like we spent our entire trial marriage getting deep about love and like really thinking about what we want and what we deserve in life. And then also looking at the other side of things, like, for example, Ashley, it didn't seem like she was looking towards that type of growth or even trying to get to that type of place. So I just think that like our perspective on love is so different than what I was with. And then also seeing AJ and then going to AJ with how Britney and I's trial marriage was going and just giving her that clarity. And I think like just the different pointers on like why Britney is so passionate about what she does and like that it all loops back to this love that they have together is also a huge part of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'd love to ask you, Britney, I mean, just about how you find some like confidence in yourself, able to know what you want, what you're looking for, and how you know, now inspired other people to have that same.
I would say that how I found that within myself, honestly, just going through a lot of shit, to be honest, for my previous years leading up to AJ in general. I think just going through it and learning from them, I took every relationship, friendship, interaction and learned from it, learned how did I play a part in this? How did they play a part? I think realizing also what I need. And I think like how I talked to you, Marita, about like non-negotiables, like that, I didn't know the word for it until I honestly met AJ, but I knew that I was finding things about people that I was like, oh no, if this person has that, I can't, like, I cannot continue, like, engage with that. But if they have like these green flags or these things that I feel like I need to make me feel whole and everything else, no one's perfect. So I can work with everything else. I think I just did a lot of soul searching, a lot of figuring out what I like and what I don't like, learning from previous relationships and putting that all together for friends and partners moving forward.
Well, how are you doing?
Anxious. I'm good though. Other than that, just ready for the world to finally catch up.
I mean, that was gonna be my first question, like emotions leading up to the what's going through your head, but nerves.
Yes, nerves. Yeah, I'm feeling all the things right now that anybody would potentially feel, but taking it day by day.
Yeah, I mean, and I can imagine like the keeping secrets of reality TV can be a hard burden to take on.
Yes, it was a long fought battle, but we're here now.
Yeah, we're so close to the end. So, but then they're doing 2 releases, so.
Yes. I mean, I'm good with the first release. I could care less what happens after that. Like, I'm let's just see a couple episodes and get all the nerves done. So
yeah, you got to get those reactions in. What are your plans for being, like really showing this relationship to people and people are going to give you their feedback whether you want it or not. So how are you planning to navigate that?
Honestly, I'm not really planning too much. I know that like the world will have what they want to say and they'll have their opinions. But really what's important to me is my relationship and keeping close with a relationship with God right now. So whatever the world got for me, like I'm gonna get through it. My dad, you would always say it's like boot camp. Boot camp is tough. You might have to put on a gas mask and go in a gas chamber, and then you might have to learn how to combat, but it is tough and it's unjust and it's ruly, but you'll make it. So I felt like that was my experience. It's kind of like boot camp.
So this reality TV is like boot camp.
Yeah, I think it's easy for some people to just look at it and say, oh, it was very traumatic. It was hard. It is hard. I wouldn't use the word traumatic. I would say like anything like life, it can be difficult. So I think it just was a very difficult experience to process, to navigate. Emotions are high. The intensity is at an all time, 100%. But I think it's what you do with it is what makes you. You can, pressure makes diamonds, and however you decide to use your pressure, everybody uses the pressure differently. So,
and what would you say was the most daunting thing about going into something like this?
Most daunting thing, breaking up with Britney. Me and Britney have never broken up ever before this experience. And I think breaking up with her and sleeping next to somebody else during this time was hard. And the most daunting thing, because you don't really know what to expect. Like, someone says you're breaking up, like, what does that really mean? But you're truly broken up. Like, you're not a couple, you're not a thing, you're not anything. But I think at the end of the day, the most important thing for me was whether she's my ex, yes, I still care about her. So she's still somebody that I have a lot of love for. So making sure that she was okay throughout this was also semi-important.
And I read a little bit about your first meeting with Britney, and I wanted to talk about that just because it seemed so sweet, and I want everyone to know.
Okay, come on, Caitlin, bring it.
I'm just throwing you out there. So if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. My first meeting with Britney, so I think people get hung up on the fact that like straight club or not. It wasn't a club. I worked for a radio station back then at the time here in Orlando, and they did events on Thursdays. If I remember correctly, Britney came from a concert from her school because she was still in school, still in nursing school. And so she happened to be at this club that I was at, but also it was a mix of my birthday. So my friends and my radio family were celebrating my birthday. So basically she came up to me in the club. She said she saw me from afar, knew I was gay, lost me, saw me again, then came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder. Now, mind you, at this point in time, I'm a little lit or a lot of lit. And yeah, the question was, hey, I think you're cute, or the statement. And I told her cute or cute. And because I really didn't get that she was gay. And she's like, I think you're cute. I like girls. Can I have your number? And the rest was history from there, honestly.
So that's the new, like, are you hitting on me or are you just being nice? Is cute or cute?
Yes. We were in for relief here, I was in a straight club, or a club in general, because people don't call them straight clubs, a club in general. So I didn't know at all. I just think some girls can sometimes be experimenting, and I didn't know which one she was. I didn't know if she was lesbian or just experimenting. So
no, I mean, totally fair. And girls love to give compliments. So you have to lay that groundwork. I get it. I just love cute. Like I'm obsessed with that.
Oh, well, I'll have to probably put that on a t-shirt. Cute, question mark.
Yes, exactly. That's what we're wearing to the club now. But I did want to ask too, I mean, just queer dating shows are obviously something that are new, something we don't always see. So what are your thoughts on the representation that we're obviously getting to see and just being a part of everything?
Yeah, I think the representation is important. I think sometimes people can get hung up on every little thing that they want to see in a show. we just had the first show of this literally 2 years ago and I know we've had other queer shows, but they haven't been as prominent as something like this in a long time. So I think with the second season, it's easy to get hung up on, I want to see this, I want to see that. Why is it not this? Why are we missing that? I think what's important is just know that the show exists. Like, they could have easily canceled it after season 1, and they could have not made it as prominent as it is today. I think we're in the right path for more representation. We all have our own story, and it's just one story out of many stories. So I think more representation is on the horizon, but like, let's take it day by day, step by step, show by show.
We want to get them right too, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got to take time, but this one seems pretty good.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And you talked a little bit about this being a big breakup for you on the show that you get to see. So was there any lesson that you kind of learned about love, dating, and communication during that time?
Yeah, I learned that you can never be too transparent or honest. People are still going to make their own decisions and bias of you. As much as you want to do everything by the book as best as you can, like, sometimes you could end up being the villain in other people's stories, regardless of how much you show up. But I realized like how much I showed up in love, how much I show up as a trial marriage partner, how much I show up in everyday life. And that still can get misconstrued in so many different ways, even when you're showing up as your best self. So I learned that I'm not going to, just because of certain experiences that I've had, I'm not going to not stop showing up. Whether you take it good, bad, ugly, red flag, burgundy flag, green flag, whatever you want to take that as, I'm not going to stop showing up.